Assalamu alaikum students. Today we are going to start lecture number 14 on Hanging, a narrative essay by George Orwell. And if you see this passage, this paragraph, you will observe that it's not very long, and it comes near the end of the essay. We are almost far away. We are far away, almost 2 or 3 paragraphs, uh, and the essay is going to be finished. So we can say that it is near the end of the essay. And in last lecture, we saw that they had executed the prisoner, and the tension and seriousness of the hanging have faded, and the officials have begun returning to casual conversation and ordinary behavior. There has been no effect of that execution on their mind, on their feelings, on their actions. They are performing their routine uh, actions. They are normal, as if nothing has happened. So, in this scene, a Eurasian boy speaks casually about the executed prisoner's fear before death and then quickly shifts the conversation towards cigarettes and his silver cigarette case. This sudden movement from death to trivial matters creates a disturbing contrast. The final line, where people laugh without clear reason, highlights the strained psychological relief and emotional emptiness that follows the execution. So we can say that this passage shows how quickly people detach themselves emotionally after witnessing death. The seriousness of execution is replaced by casual talk. It also shows that it shows the normalization of violence. Violence is considered a normal action. It is not considered abnormal or something that is different. So let's start this paragraph. The Eurasian boy walking beside me nodded towards the way we had come with a knowing smile. Now, see, there is a phrase, the knowing smile. It is suggesting confidence and familiarity. There is a boy who is Eurasian, and he's nodding towards the way from where they came, and he has a knowing smile. It shows confidence. It shows familiarity, as if he is sharing inside information, something that all the people don't know. The gesture towards the way we had come refers back to the execution site. It means that the boy treats the execution casually, and it shows emotional detachment from the event. Nothing has affected that boy. For him, it is a routine matter. Do you know, sir, a friend, he meant the dead man, when he heard his appeal had been dismissed, he pissed on the floor of his cell. Now he is telling the secret of the deceased, of the executed. He uses the phrase our friend. Here, it sounds ironic because there is no real friendship or sympathy. If he had been his friend, he would have been in sorrow, in grief, but he is very normal. So it means he is not his friend. The crude description of the prisoner urinating from fear exposes his human weakness. and terror before death. It shows that the prisoner didn't like that sentence. He didn't want to die. He didn't want to be executed. So with fear, he urinated on the floor. And see, for the boy, it seems to be it seems to be a fun. It seems to be funny. And we see that the prisoner is reduced to an object of gossip and humiliation rather than being treated with dignity. They are making fun of him, right? They're making fun of his weakness. They're making fun of his fear. And then he says, from fright. This short sentence is emphasizing the prisoner's fear directly and bluntly. Orwell is isolating it to increase impact. These two-word sentence is shown here isolated so that the impact can be increased. It can be more powerful. Even though the prisoner showed dignity earlier, he was still deeply human and afraid of death. He didn't want to die. Kindly take one of my cigarettes, sir. Now, the sudden shift. See, once he's talking about the deceased prisoner, the executed prisoner, he's making fun of him. He's making fun of his weakness. And the next moment, what he does, he offers cigarettes to them. So you see, it is a sudden shift in his behavior. Once he is discussing fear and death, and now he is politely offering a cigarette. That is shocking. See how human beings can be so indifferent that even execution cannot affect them, cannot influence them, cannot create any kind of impact. So we can say that the conversation means casually, the conversation moves casually away from death. It shows how quickly people normalize violence. It is a continuity of the same idea that we discussed in the previous paragraph. Do you not admire my new silver case, sir? Now the Eurasian boy focuses on showing off his cigarette case. Now you see that they have become materialistic. Now the topic he's going to discuss is related to material. It is related to silver case. It is very, very superficial. It is very, very trivial. And see, we are talking about someone who's been executed, and abruptly we move towards trivial things. We start discussing petty things, things which have no worth. So such kind of discussion replaces a moral reflection. It reveals that human beings are emotionally empty. They're so cruel, really cruel, that they don't feel any pain, any pity, any fear, because nothing has happened to them. They have not been affected. From the box wala, 2 rupees 8 annas. The exact price and mention of the seller make the conversation ordinary and commercial. So we can say everyday concerns continue immediately after death, which shows how routine the execution has become. It's normal. It's daily routine. Someone has been executed. So then he says, Anna's classy European style. Now the boy is admiring the European appearance of the cigarette case. It reflects colonial influence and desire for status. When you're keeping things or material that looks like European, or that appears to be European, or that shows European style, it means you have some status. So he is also here desiring for status. So here, when this short sentence shows colonial culture shapes value and behavior, even in moments connected to death. Several people laughed at what? Nobody seemed certain. People laughed. Abruptly, they laugh. How are they laughing? It is questionable. The laughter is unclear. The laughter is directionless. Even they themselves don't know why they are laughing. This creates an uncomfortable atmosphere. It raises questions on their behavior. The laughter is not genuine happiness. It is a nervous psychological release after tension and guilt. Now, let me talk about literary techniques used in this paragraph. Almost same: irony, contrast, symbolism. They are also existing here. So the shift from discussing a man's fear before execution to admiring a cigarette case is deeply ironic. It shows that serious human suffering is overshadowed by trivial conversation, material objects. They are more important than the most important, the most worthy creation on this planet Earth, that is human being. Those trivial things are more important than them. Then we also find contrast. There is a strong contrast between death and casual conversation, fear and laughter, human suffering and material display. So here Orwell highlights how quickly people move away from moral reflection. So next is symbolism. Then in symbolism, uh, let me talk about contrast first. There is strong contrast between death and casual conversation, then fear and laughter, then human suffering and material display. Both are opposite to each other, all three. So Orwell highlights how quickly people move away from moral reflection. Then let's talk about symbolism. The silver case is symbolizing superficiality and materialism. The laughter is symbolizing a nervous emotional release. So both of them show that material concerns replace serious moral awareness. And that is pity. It is ironical. Overall, it is very, very ironical. It is condemning us. It is condemning us as a society, as a system. Then let's talk about tone. We see the tone becomes strangely casual and uncomfortable after the execution. This detached tone exposes emotional numbness within the system. We are numb. We are emotionless. So let's talk about themes. First one is emotional detachment. The officials casually discuss the prisoner after his death. It means that human beings distance themselves emotionally from violence. Then dehumanization is persistent. throughout the essay, the prisoner becomes a subject of amusement and gossip. His humanity and dignity are ignored after death. Third one is psychological relief after violence. The laughter is reflecting release of tension after the execution. People try to escape discomfort through casual behavior. By behaving casually, they try to escape discomfort. The normalization of death. The conversation quickly shifts to cigarettes and style, to very, very petty things, petty material. It shows that execution is treated as an ordinary part of life. Then there's another theme we can find, new one, that is colonial influence. The admiration for Eurasian style or for European style is reflecting colonial attitudes. It means that colonial culture affects identity, values, and behavior. It becomes the symbol of status. So let me talk about writer style. If you see in this short paragraph, Orwell is using simple dialogue and understand understated narration. The language appears casual, but underneath it lies deep discomfort and irony. The writer is avoiding direct moral judgment here, and instead he is allowing the contrast between death and trivial conversation to create meaning naturally. So we can say the simplicity of the dialogue is making the emotional emptiness and moral detachment more disturbing, more painful, more questionable. We feel pain as reader to how they are behaving, are the human beings. So let me talk about critical and let me give you certain critical analysis too. If you see this paragraph, it shows how quickly people psychologically recover from witnessing violence by distracting themselves with ordinary conversation. The Eurasian boy's casual tone and interest in the silver cigarette case reveal how death has become normalized within the colonial prison system. The final laughter is especially important because nobody knows exactly why they are laughing. What forced them or encouraged them to laugh? They don't know. This suggests nervous relief rather than genuine amusement. Orwell is implying that after participating in or witnessing violence, witnessing execution, people often escape moral discomfort through humor, through gossip, or trivial distractions. So, here, basically, in this paragraph, Orwell is criticizing not only execution itself, but also the way systems condition people to emotionally disconnect from human suffering. They are trained like that they are not going to connect themselves from human suffering with human suffering. There should be no emotions. They should be detach themselves. Then they could, then they can perform such kind of activity. Otherwise, it is difficult if they bring their emotions in. So let's conclude this paragraph. If you see, this paragraph is highlighting themes of emotional detachment, dehumanization, and normalization of violence. And we see irony, contrast, and casual dialogue are used to show how easily people move from witnessing death to discussing ordinary and superficial matters. It means, if you see this paragraph, it leaves a disturbing impression. It shows that the greatest danger of institutional violence is not only killing human beings, but making others emotionally indifferent to it. That, right, you are killing a man, you are institutionalizing it, you are giving the support of a law, that you are abiding the law, but on the other side, you are making people around that whole process emotionally indifferent to execution. That is more disturbing. That is the most dangerous idea, uh, is that is discussed here, that is portrayed here indirectly, implicitly. I hope you have understood. Thank you for watching.